This is an ancient engraved tablet representing the historical weight of biblical law. When most people think of the third commandment, do not take the Lord's name in vain, they think of a simple vocabulary rule. For decades, veteran theologians have preached this as a straightforward mandate. Pastor Dave from Catalyst Church spent over 20 years teaching his congregation that this commandment strictly meant avoiding cussing and specific derogatory words. As the ancient texts were translated into the crisp, accessible English we read today, the original meaning was severely watered down. Because of that lost translation, a person could go their entire life without ever uttering a single swear word, and yet still break this exact commandment every single day. Treating the third commandment as a vocal filter completely masks a far more dangerous warning regarding human behavior and identity. This is a traditional Hebrew scroll, presenting the original text of Exodus chapter 20. To see the actual law, we have to bypass the English and look at the Hebrew terminology. The English take translates from the Hebrew nasa, meaning to physically carry, bear, or wear a weight. Like an athlete in a team jersey, or a soldier carrying a banner, it is visible representation. Furthermore, the name of the Lord uses Yahweh, a highly personal name. Finally, the word vain translates to shava, a term used to describe rendering something completely empty, worthless, or exposed as a falsehood. Combine these original words, and the actual law emerges. Do not carry the intimate, personal identity of God into the world in a way that makes it look entirely worthless. To understand who that law targets, we must look back to the rugged terrain of Mount Sinai, where this covenant was established with the Israelites. The text specifically addresses you. In this context, you refers exclusively to chosen believers. It is a family rule that cannot be weaponized against a secular world that doesn't claim to bear the name in the first place. The modern violations of this rule happen when people who claim the name use it for their own gain. You see this when political figures invoke God to justify violence, war, or self-serving cruelty. It also takes the form of theological manipulation. A tragic example occurred when a congregant falsely claimed, "God told me," to promise a baby to a barren woman. When that prophecy failed, the ensuing heartbreak destroyed the woman's faith. The most common violation is hypocritical living. This happens when a person proudly adopts the title of Christian, yet exhibits greed, hatred, and cruelty in their daily interactions. Breaking the third commandment is an ongoing, habitual act of spiritual identity theft. When people outside the faith look at Christians, they judge the character of the entire represented kingdom completely by the actions of the ambassadors wearing the name. The absolute rule of the ambassador is that once the identity is claimed, it cannot be discarded. You cannot put it on for Sunday morning and then take it off when it's convenient at work or online. To provide a framework for bearing this name successfully, theologians use the acrostic HOLY. H for honoring the name, O for obeying the instructions, L for living as a continuous reflection, and Y for yielding personal control to its authority. Taking the Lord's name in vain ultimately measures the life that flows from the heart, rather than the syllables that escape the mouth.